So the other day, my sister left for college, and I was thinking, I did college once. What if I made her a video, and all of you, of course, on how to survive college? So here's my top 9 tips on how to survive college. Let's get rolling. For starters, though, I want to add some context. This is how to survive college, not how to smooth sailing straight A's. I mean, let's be real. I got that 2.0 mug. C's get degrees and all that. But for real, these tips should be helpful on helping you get through all of college. They're really short tips, quick, easy. Follow them and you'll make it. That's how I got my degree right there. So let's actually start with tip number 1. Tip number 1 is always go to class. I know, this is insane, right? Go to class. The thing with tip number 1 is you think, well, of course, I've always gone to class, but that's because in high school, it's mandatory. You have to go to class. In college, you get to choose if you want to go to class. And choosing to go to class is a whole different thing. Because when it's a Monday morning and you have an 8 a.m. class, waking up at 7 isn't always the easiest thing. So a few things you have to take into account is, 1, you're paying for it. And you're like, so it's one class. Well, college is very expensive. I mean, books can set you back a few $1,000s depending on what subject you're taking. So you have to think, is this class costing me $100 to skip? Is sleeping in an extra hour or 2 really worth $100? Plus, it builds reputation. Your professors are going to see you showing up to class, and that's actually a huge thing. Because if you have a class that you try in, you study for, you do all the tricks, and you're not doing well in, you can always go to your professor and be like, Professor, please, I show up to every class faithfully. I don't skip. Please give me the 1 point I need to pass the class. And if they check their attendance and think, well, he did show up and they were trying their best, you might get your point to pass the class. Plus, showing up is kind of half the battle. I mean, you're paying for it, show up to class. Tip number 2, always turn in homework. I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes professors are like, hey, the exams are 95% of the grade, so your homework's 5%, and then when you do the math, you realize, well, one homework's only worth 1/1000th of my grade, and I'm busy tonight, so I don't need to do it. That's a problem. You see, recovering from a 0 can be difficult, especially when you never do your homework and it's only 5% of your grade. You can still get an A and pass the class. And then you never did your homework, so you weren't really good and prepared for the exam. And then you fail your first exam and shoot, you only have 2 more exams to make up all of this. You probably can't pass the class. Always do your homework. 1, it teaches you. And 2, recovering from like a 50% on homework is easier than recovering on a 0. So if you're like, man, I'm too busy, or you're like, shoot, my homework's due in like 10 minutes. Go online, write the quick response, read the little reading and check the boxes real fast, because that does help. There's so many times where I've been like, done my homework real quick and been like, shoot, I completely forgot, do it. And then you get a C and you're like, huh? C's get degrees. So always do your homework, super important. Plus you're paying for it, so do it. Tip number 3, make a study group, especially if you don't exactly get A's. You see, the trick here is when you start a study group, you're surrounding yourself with people who, 1, are hungry for getting good grade, 2, smart people. All the people who are going to get the A in the class are coming to that. And all the people who are really trying to get that 110%, they're definitely going to be there. So when you start a study group, you're immediately showing that 1, initiative, and 2, people are going to be dying to be part of this learning process, and you're all fighting the battle together to get the best grade possible in that class. So definitely start a study group. You'll come off as smart, you'll come off as a leader, and it'll teach you a lot of really good skills, and you'll also get to interact with a lot of people and learn new study programs and best ways of learning. And that brings us to tip number 4. Learn how you study. This might be crazy, but not everyone learns from reading over their notes 1,000 times or doing the flashcards. I did the flashcards, I did the note reading. It wasn't until near end of college that I learned how I actually study best. And that is teaching people. This is where the study groups comes in. Reteaching people what I've learned. So I have the paper, all my notes, and I go, yeah, so this point in class, I kind of represent the idea to them. And that's how I learn best, is kind of teaching people the stuff that I'm learning. And that's been a huge tool for me to learn best. So, and that probably won't work for everyone. So definitely find out how you learn best and chase that, because learning how you learn is huge. That's how you win at college. Honestly, if that's the only thing you take away from college, that's probably one of the most important things, unless you're like a doctor, because that's more important. But learning how to learn is huge, and that's a valuable thing that will last your entire life. That will surpass any of the especially freshman year courses. You need to learn how to learn best for you. Tip number 5 for surviving college: work hard, play hard. And no, this is not me saying, you're in college, go party, go do whatever. No, this is actually a very serious thing. If you're pulling all-nighters doing homework, if you are studying until midnight, 2, 3, every single morning, you need time kind of to set back and relax and take time for yourself. A great example of this is my sophomore year, my roommate and I had a slammed week. He had like 2 or 3 exams. One of them was like OChem, really difficult course. I had 2 or 3 projects that kept me up all-nighters. I think I did 2 all-nighters in the same week. We got to Friday. We both were like, okay, we did everything. We need to just spend time doing fun things. So we ended up spending that weekend, Friday night, pulled an all-nighter playing video games, had a blast, then slept in the following night, and we just kind of had a great experience just playing hard, playing video games, enjoying our time. Because if you're working hard, you also need to balance that. Because if you're always over here working, you'll burn yourself out. But then again, if you're only over here playing, partying it up, you'll never get any college done and you'll fail. It's just how it is. Tip number 6, make friends. And I'm talking real friends, not just friends from your major, and not just friends from your dorm, not just friends from class. Like, make friends that you can go grab lunch with, people from different majors and all different walks of life. That's super important. And I know you might be thinking, well, I want to make friends with the people in my major because, I'm going to be close with them in a few years. And yes, you will. That's kind of the problem. I love my friends from my classes. But the problem was, senior year, all the people in all your classes you've been with for 4 years. You need some variety. So if you've only hung out with the same group of people, you don't have other friends you can kind of fall back on when you're sick of talking about the same projects you're all working on. So definitely find friends, be social, kind of explore different areas where you can have friends. Tip number 7, join a club or something to keep you social. So participate in volunteer work, or go to sporting events with people, or do things to keep you social that's reoccurring. There's lots of events on campuses that are reoccurring, once a month, even every other week, that you can be part of. My university had a dodgeball league, which is it's dodgeball, but it was a great experience to be able to go to something reoccurring that kind of helps you stay socially active and also keeps your mind off of always studying. I'm not a huge sports watcher, but I would love to go to the sporting games at my university with my friends because it was really interactive. We went to a smaller school, so you could be really involved with the chants, and you could practically get front row if depending on the sport. So that was always a great experience, being able to actually watch sports, which I never did and I still don't do, but I always loved going to the games with my friends and kind of interacting on that level. So definitely find something reoccurring you can join friends in, do fun events, and really keep you going. Tip number 8, a good way to keep you going: work out. The freshman 15 is real. I don't know how many people I saw walk in skinny and leave not so skinny. You need something to keep you active. This is the first time in your life you probably get to choose whatever you want to eat whenever you want to. So if you're a really snacky person and now you have a little campus card that lets you buy whatever snacks you want whenever you want to, those snacks add up and you need to stay active. It helps you mentally and physically. I sleep better when I've exercised, and everyone does, but I also study better and focus better. So it's great to learn what you're into. That doesn't mean you have to go lift weights. I lifted weights, huge advocate for that. I wasn't huge or anything, but it was definitely something where I got to go with a group of friends, go lift weights together. It was a lot of fun. But there's a lot of sports you can get involved in. I mean, most campuses have volleyball courts. You can go, on runs with friends, meet new people, try some new sports. There's things like racquetball, lots of different things you can try on campus. I mean, my campus had a climbing wall. I don't know what your campus probably has, but there's lots of different things you can try out to keep you physically active. I know you might be thinking, why walk all over campus? You eat more than you walk, I assure you. As someone who's graduated college, man, lots of food. And it's all free because it's on the card that you paid a fortune for. So definitely stay active. And my last point, number 9, come up with a routine. This is huge because going back to this is the first time a lot of you have had a chance to actually live life completely on your own. Some of you have been doing it for a while, but some of you, this is the first time where it's like, oh shoot, I can schedule my classes late and sleep till noon. Yes, you can. But now you've spent your whole day sleeping. Is that what you want to do? If so, good for you. But you need to find a routine that works best for you. One thing I figured out in college was I needed an hour from waking up before to leaving of just me getting ready. It doesn't actually take me an hour to get ready, but I'm not a morning person. So I needed to wake up and take my slow steps to the bathroom to get ready. And, shower first thing, kind of do things that slowly get me ready for the day. And then when that hour hits, then I need to be on my way to class or whatever it is that I need to go partake in. But you need to find out routines for you. Routines for eating, routines for fitness, routines for sleeping. Sleep can get away from you. There was several times I was pulling all-nighters, making up on homework that I definitely should have done earlier. So definitely come up with a routine, figure out how you work best. I really hope these tips were helpful for you. They helped me. Some of these tips I wish I knew freshman year right out of the gate. I didn't learn some of them till even senior year, but they're what got me a degree. Very expensive degree, but a degree. And if I can get it, you definitely can, because in high school, I was not a straight A student. I studied, I did all the things, and it's hard. College is hard. College is way harder than high school. But these tips are what got me through, and honestly, this is the sales pitch. These tips are what's going to get you through university. If you have any other great advice, comments below. I want to respond here, get involved, because I really think there's a lot of good ideas out there. Just people don't know how to survive college. I wish there was a nice little survival guide when I was going, but here we are. So I hope these tips can help you, and I hope to catch you in the next video.